Hey everybody, this is General Gamble. I'm here to tell you some really good news, actually. But I do want to say first off, if you want to stop this video and read any of these notes, I'm going to have a lot of notes on the screen. I'm not going to necessarily refer to them, but they cover topics that I find interesting, but most people would find very boring. Now this has to do more with strategies to fix Fukushima, and the use of the probes that they came up with, the snake robots, that they announced that they'd succeeded going into the reactors, or into the PCV, on the 20th of April 2015, this year. About 8 days ago now, and I want to talk about a strategy for using these probe bots that goes beyond taking pictures and may have been considered, and it has to do with towing cables, and that you could attach a towing cable to any of these probe bots, and if you could get it through the reactor, you would be able to do a lot more in the way of fixing the actual corium inside the reactor. And that would be, you'd get a much larger machine into the reactor, and they've been working on something like this. I'd seen it. It was actually in a news release for maybe about 10 or 20 seconds, and it was this gigantic blue hydraulic robot, basically, or not hydraulically controlled, but hydraulic as in hydraulic suction, and was big, blue, long like this. And this was pretty much inspired from that. And what I'm trying to say here is that if you would get this tow cable through the reactor on a straight shot, there are ways you could use that directly on the corium, and they've pretty much kind of gone close to being able to build stuff like this anyways that would be almost radiation proof in a way, because they rely mostly on devices that are not electronic, although there are always electronic components, and that's going to be a problem. Now, the other problem is, can the structure of the building that you're pulling this through take that much force? And that's something you could really only ask somebody who's an expert at this plant. Now, once you have the type of slack that you need, the entrance point, judging by where you can get this started from, is going to tell you how much slack you actually need. But once you get to that point, you actually have gotten pretty damn far. As I said, this is really more of a mock-up of a device that I got to see. But I wanted to just kind of iterate that pneumatics could potentially sidestep this whole radiation problem, because they're not as subject to breakdown as any sort of machine, and the controls can be off-site. And on top of that, there are a couple of benefits to it, such as since largely you're going to need suction. I know right now they use the cement pulverizing thing, and that might be a better idea I mean, if they can get that going, I'd be happy about that. But you could also take just a simple dumb pneumatic drill or whatever's going to cut the cake, and use the pressure that you have incoming from that, since you can't release it into the reactor, and use it for part of your suction pressure. So there are some fringe benefits. Now, this is about devices that are to back up the cable probe bots and basically latch on to the cable and climb the cable of the previous robot. And what they can do is a number of different things. For one thing, they can feed cable back if you were to reverse the climbing motion into and around choke points, and if they were outfitted right, you could cut the cables of these dead probe bots and maybe be able to get them back, because you could take it back from and have a firm grip on that cable before the choke point, which would be pretty important. This is how you'd kind of do it with the kind of more of a tank module, which is what they seem to be using. Now, this is electrical, but it's probably not going to get as close to the radiation as the other robots that have died, so it's theoretically reusable. And what you do with it, like I said, is you do all sorts of things. If you could put a way of bracing it, maybe magnetics, into one of these, you could get it to basically be a pulling station for, the probe to get further. Now, once it's in place, what you and the implications of what you do with it are partially up to you. But a much simpler way of doing it, aside from the wire crawling robot, it would seem to me, would be to have had a way of severing the connection of the cable entirely physically on the probe bot, so it could do that before it died and pull it back. And presumably that would make it easier to pull back. Now, I might be wrong about that. I've sent letters about this idea out before, and mailings and videos and stuff, so maybe it was done and it just didn't work. That's entirely possible, actually. Now, this is kind of like my best of design. I'm trying to say if you had two of these, they would be able to climb the cable basically a lot easier, because they'd then, bend around the surfaces of the piping that they'd presumably be having to slide across. Now, what I'm trying to say is that we have learned of completely new ways of thinking about robots, apparently. And what was impossible not that long ago has been proven to be possible. And ultimately, I've always said that what needs to happen is we need to take responsibility for cleaning the ocean as in everybody's interest. Across the board, we'll find the wisdom in it one way or another. So, I can't make that happen with a magic wand. I know everybody probably wants that to happen. But I'm sure that if we keep banging our head against this wall, not only will we decommission the reactors, we'll find a way of bringing back the ocean to the pristine state that it needs to be in to sustain life, in the way that we normally think of it. Well, this has been General Gamble. Thank you very much. Please forward these ideas, these messages, this channel. Be part of my army of 100 monkeys, because once enough people know about an idea, it becomes ubiquitous. And then it'll be politically unavoidable, and they'll have to fix Fukushima. So please forward the message. Thank you, and have a great day. Bye.